Hey everybody, welcome to Bish's RV. I'm here at our Grand Rapids, Michigan location today with a 25 FBLS Flagstaff, which, by the way, is the exact same thing as a 2511S Rockwood. So this is one video that really applies to two different RVs. It's the same camper under two different names. They have a slightly different exterior graphics package. Other than that, they're the exact same thing. What we're looking at here, this is a compact singles couples camper that gives us a private bedroom, which is hard to find. Has a really nice large rear bath with a good sized shower space that a bigger person like me can actually get into. Seems like a lot of times in the small campers, you have these tiny showers, you have radius showers that, I mean, if you got to bend over to grab something, there just ain't room. You know, you have to get your wet self out of the shower and climb back in. You don't got to deal with that here. Also, you don't have to deal with a giant, heavy RV that requires like a big 3/4 ton pickup. Now, you can certainly tow this with that, but a good tow package half ton should yank this one around all the time. Between the weight category, only about 26 feet, Goodyear tire package, awesome suspension package, TPMS standard from the factory, and a partridge in a pear tree. Like, we've got Asdel, we've got tank heaters, we've got radiant barrier going through the underbelly and up the nose of this thing. We've got a factory standard solar and inverter package, and the shower miser. So this is something that it's going to be awesome for using like in a park. And if you're going to do a couple little quick weekend boondock trips here and there, it's something that has some good, well, decent limited function when you're not always tethered to park power. So now, starting in the entry door there, which by the way does have the shade in the entry window, not just a window that is shade ready. This group actually goes ahead and does that for you. That's one of the things I really like about this camp. They are very good about saying, okay, that's a small thing, but it provides a huge benefit to a customer. We need to do that. Like, they're very good about things like that. This is another one of those floor plans. I don't know how they do it, but they do it all the time. They make these things that are not extremely large in terms of total physical size, but they have a good size, like living room and some really amazing storage solutions. So one of the things I like to do for you here is put you in the driver's seat. This is your point of view. When you're sitting at the sofa, this is kind of what you're going to see right here. I like the addition right there, adding that electric space heat and fireplace. It's a little bit of a belly burner in terms of how high it's located when you're sitting here on the sofa, but obviously when you're walking around, it's a little bit more of, say, a knee toaster, as it were. But you've got direct facing entertainment here. And once again, you've got yourself surprisingly good storage, and they're very good about hiding it away so it doesn't look like it's in your face the entire time. So starting back over here by the door, there's kind of a, well, either a closet or a pantry, maybe a closet, as it were, because you see you've got a hanging rack above, and you have removable shelves right here, but these things are like armpit deep. I call that elephant enema storage because if you reach in there, you look like you're going to be giving an elephant an enema. Maybe not the most amazing visual, but you understand what I'm saying. Oh, by the way, this RV has a 1,000-watt inverter installed on it from the factory. So there's a bunch of these outlets that can be live off the battery if you're not plugged into park power there. It kind of varies as to which ones in which floor plans have those inverted outlets. So it's just one of those things you almost got to kind of review the RV in person or call one of our outfitters and we'll go through on a floor plan by floor plan basis. Like, okay, I really like the one that Josh showed in that video right there. Exactly which outlets are inverted. We'll get you the answer. No problem. Now we're looking at the, oh no, I already talked about the lighter decor. I'm sorry. I've done like 12 videos today and this stuff is starting to get a little bit blurry. Solid surface countertops I know I haven't talked about. You see that extra large extension right there. 12-volt DC compressor fridge mounted in the slide with the sofa. And what's kind of cool about that is it takes two really big features, the sofa and the refrigerator, and it gets them off the floor plan, out of the way. Move, fridge, get out the way. So you can convert this, obviously, so stupid, I don't even know, from a love seat to a theater seat. You can see how it is a wall hugger. It's mounted in place. You don't have to bear hug and wrestle this thing, and body slam it around. It's a little bit over my GVW to be messing with stuff like that. And then when you need to, there are some handy little power outlets kind of built right into it here. And if I'm not mistaken, Usually one of the things they do is they will make sure that that sofa is plugged into and wired to one of those inverted outlets. So that could be a live plug for you, not to mention you've got the USB plugs there. Now, some people like these, some people don't. I'm open to your input. They wanted to make sure they still maintain some storage overhead, but they didn't have space to make it really big. So they just have these classic drop-down doors. That's something that they've done in these for a lot of years. It doesn't seem to be offending people too awful much because Rockwood and Flagstaff, since they're basically the same RV, they are the most popular ultralight out there by a clip. Once again, when you put everything away, you know, it feels nice in here. Like it's got some good size. Speaking of good size, you've got a good size air conditioner available here. Standard, this does have a 13,500 BTU. You do have the option of upgrading that to a 15,000 BTU. I'm almost a little surprised Rockwood hasn't standardized that, considering even some stick and tin brands like Cherokee and East to West have done things like that. It kind of just sort of seems to be the way things are going. Now, this right here is one of the major defining factors that really differentiates this floor plan from something like a 2205 Rockwood or its Flagstaff brethren. Those do not have these enclosed privacy walls. They are open floor plans, so they look and feel open, but you don't have privacy. So if you want to put clothes on, you either gotta hop in the bathroom or you basically gotta close all the windows or just risk putting on a free show. This is a Camp Queen bed. They leave more than enough room to go to a true queen. And this right here is just a textbook example of something these guys do really well. They are awesome at coming up with good storage solutions. Like down here, you've got triple dresser drawers, well, quadruple, because you saw the one sticking out of the wall. That drawer, by the way, the reason that's there is because this has this nice L-shaped kitchen countertop space. The problem is you cannot get to any of the storage under there, so they added a drawer so the storage comes to you. Now, another cool thing with these is that anything that is structural or load-bearing, say like, you know, the walls or the bed, is going to be built with a welded aluminum cage structure. Just another like long-term longevity kind of thing that they're putting into this camper. Now, something you may have noticed in the kitchen, and it persists obviously through the rest of the camper, is that this is all pocket screwed cabinetry. I don't know if you could have noticed that, never mind. But you also have hidden hinges throughout the entire thing. So once again, it's another thing that's designed to be a little bit higher end, a little bit longer lasting. Now, over here, this is another one of the things this floor plan does that's sneaky good. It gives you the storage of a bigger closet without extending the RV. So on the left, you got some sweet dresser space, and then over here on the right, you have your hanging storage. And that is really handy because, as you may have noticed, there's only one normal hanging wardrobe closet in this camper, but this right here, I think, really nicely offsets that. Another interesting little thing, this sliding like barn privacy door, it has a little magnet plate here on the wall, so that if, like, let's say you have a guest back here, and we'll talk more about that in a second, if they're just walking around, the door doesn't tend to go tink, 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 tink all night, you know? And sometimes just a nice little light switch, it's just all you need. Now, we've seen the sofa, we've seen it open, we've seen it in theater and love seat mode. We haven't really seen it in Dinofa mode right here, and pardon me as I close a couple doors behind me as I go. Just a, you know, a handy little thing that my parents instilled in me as my dad banged his head into a kitchen pantry door that I left open one day. He's like, Josh, close this door! And, you know, after about 12 times of that, I finally got the point. My wife, though, not quite as effective as my dad. We're still up to about 15 times, and I keep forgetting. Now, I said we talk about guest capacity. This is the standard setup that you're looking at right here. A theater seat with the floating Dinofa table is standard in this one. But if what you're looking for is less of a couple's experience, you want to have the ability to have a guest every now and then, a grandkid or adult kid or friend or something like that, you know, you can put a hide-a-bed in here. Now, historically, this model originally used to come with a two-bench dinette that also had a floating table. In my head, I don't see any reason why that's not possible. I see so many options and build sheets, though, it all starts getting murky. So if you're ever curious how you could outfit something, You can leave me a comment. I'll get it looked up for you, or call one of our team members and we'll get you a build sheet sent right over. Over there across the way on the slide side, actually all the windows, with the exception of the front windshield or the window by the kitchen for fire code, have roller night shades now standard. That used to be an available option in these. They said, you know what? Let's just standardize it. Let's just always stay one step ahead of everybody. That's just what Rockwood likes to do. TV here can pivot around. I don't see, there's probably a way to easily dismount that and move it outside. That's something Rockwood's done in the past. Let me actually take a look back here now that I've run my mouth. Yeah. So this right here, the TV's mounted to, slots into a V bracket. There is a matching bracket like that outside if you are so inclined. I'm so glad the RV industry has gone to things like sound bars here as opposed to the surround sound speakers. They just drown everything out. And if you want to talk to somebody next to you, you had to shout, well, like the way that I'm talking all the time right now, which is funny because there's nobody around. Why I talk so loud, I don't know. But I talk like that all the time. Also, kind of cool that Rockwood's, or Flagstaff, as it were, still giving us DVD function on their stereo units. Bluetooth, obviously, and HDMI. Now, over here, our command panel, you can get the free rving app, and you can sync yourself up to that. But what I like is you still just have switches where all your main functions, like checking our battery and juice and all that stuff, can be controlled. But if you want to go R2-D2, beep, boop, you can, do a Bluetooth off your phone. And the RV has the Wi-Fi Ranger, which is a signal repeater and access point. But easier way to describe it, you're going to kind of think of it a little bit like a router that you have in your house. Built into the camper, kind of cool. The bathroom over here doesn't suck. So once again, one of the things that this group has always done for a long time, very, very nicely, is put good storage in their bathroom. So I'm going to give you just a quick flyby here. But on the way, I'm going to make a pit stop where, you might need to make a pit stop and show you, you can be a big dude. You can be a bigger lady, and you can fit on that thing just fine. Or if you're a skinny mini, obviously you're going to fit there fine as well. And again, a big shower. So many campers have the radius showers that I know people just do not like. And that is not the case in this floor plan. There's actually a bunch of mini lights that use this kind of shower configuration right here. Now, up top, you have the XL vent fan from the factory, and that is a 4-speed high exhaust fan that, folks, I don't know if you saw my balding hairline, but this might be one of the reasons why. It will suck the hair off your head, maybe more metaphorically speaking. Or if you buzz the hair off your head, it could certainly suck the hair off your head then. You know what? I don't know where I was going with this. It's obviously going nowhere, so let's look at road mode. Now, that private bedroom that you get on this one versus, let's say like an open front bedroom design version of this floor plan, it's nice that you have a private room you can get dressed without having to close all the window shades. But as you can kind of see here, it does come at the expense of one thing primarily. And that is the road mode traveling function. If you want to get to the bedroom on this one, you do absolutely have to open up the slide. That being said, they did a pretty good job here of they put the drawers where you can get to them in transit. The fridge you can get to enough. And if I take a step back, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that from the main entry door, you're just a hop, skip, and jump away from getting yourself back to the bathroom. So it has some travel stop function, but not travel stay over unless you park in a spot where you can open up that slide. All right, so one of the first things I want to hit on out here is the update that they've done at the start of the 22 model year. So it's been out for a little while now. Not everybody knows about it yet. I want to make sure you're aware of this. They've gone to double Asdel on their sidewalls. So this is a 5-side laminated product. It's a 6-side aluminum framed product. And if you're kind of doing the math, you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't quite add up. So the front wall, rear wall, sidewalls, and roof are all laminated. They're all glued and bonded and fused together, basically. Whereas the floor has a tongue and groove, a 5/8 tongue groove plywood floor decking, still has an aluminum skeleton though. It's a stronger floor structure. It weighs a little bit more, but they got rid of the potential for soft spots in the floor over a longer term of ownership, which is, when you're looking at a Rockwood or a Flagstaff, I call these things retirement grade. Like, this could be the last camper you ever worry about. So you want to make sure it's going to be built to hold up. That's the idea behind these. You see the optional slide awning package was applied to this one. That's something you can put on any Rockwood or Flagstaff. And I tell you what, they sell their slide awning upgrades so cheaply. I don't know. I don't think they must not make money on them. I don't know. I don't know quite how they do it, because I know that if you want to go adding those at the dealership level, they gonna cost you. Now, this is one of those like in-betweeners where it's a little bit bigger than a conventional mini Lite or micro Lite, depending on if you're talking in Rockwood or Flagstaff terminology, because again, they have different model numbers. The exterior graphical decals are different between the two, but it's the same physical camper. If you peeled this thing, if you took all the decals off, Rockwood and Flagstaff, absolutely identical. They both have this optional white exterior, which has been really popular. I like it because I think it helps keep the heat down. Not to mention the fact that you also have a standard like champagne brown exterior if that's more what you're looking for. Now, before I forget, because it hides behind this door, which first of all, I love that they added the magnet hold back so that this thing isn't constantly flapping in the breeze and hitting you, because that's a big baggage door. You know, it's easier than climbing under it the whole time. But the little simple side mount solar prep plug right there. This RV has a factory standard roof solar package. There is a factory expansion if you want to double it. Plus, you always have the option, oh, of course, there we go, on camera, of expanding that. Now, let me get this latched over here real quick before I forget. One of the cool things on this is your baggage doors, your main entry door. Everything on this is key to like. So you just have one key. Like, well, this RV comes with 2 keys, but it's 2 copies of 1 key. You know, all the baggage doors, the entry door, the deadbolt, all of it. Easy that way. The outside cooking situation on this one doesn't have a full camp kitchen. Like, say, I'm struggling with the Flagstaff model number, but like a Rockwood 2507 or something like that. But what we do have here is you still have the outside griddle hookup, and it also, you know, comes with a handy little kind of place to put your platter kind of table over here. Now, we'll get to that little tire pressure monitor thing in a second. First, we've got the outside TV hookups, and then we come back to this guy. Factory standard, this comes with a color display tire pressure monitoring system for those Goodyear Endurance radials, those 87 mile an hour rated American tires. Now, I mentioned that this thing is awesome for travel because one of the other things that it has is a little bit better suspension package as compared to a conventional leaf spring system. What that's going to do for you, basically, it fights stress differently, and it actively tries to keep the camper flat and level as opposed to the camper body rolling and bouncing behind you. Because when you're lugging around a couple thousand pounds, the last thing you want is that thing bouncing and jouncing behind you. Nobody wants a little extra jiggle banging in their towing scenario. Credit to Rockwood and Flagstaff for continuing to include ladders on these. Ladders are something that a lot of manufacturers have had a hard time getting a hold of. Evidently, these guys just got a little bit more clout than somebody else because, you know, theirs are still equipped. Now, on the back here, you might notice we have a full bumper and a 2-inch receiver hitch. Now, that does mean that they had to bulk up the chassis a little bit. That is one of the areas where these have gained a little bit of weight. They've gained a little bit of heft over the last couple seasons, but it's because they've gotten a little bit thicker, heavier, stronger, and it's all been structural. So, you know, they were very, very lightweight in the past. They're still lighter weight than most things out there right now. They're still in the hunt, as it were, but they have definitely gained a few pounds, but they've also gained a little bit of strength as a result. Now, a couple things here. In the back, because with the weather being what it is, I don't think I can get up on the roof. In the back, you see that Max Air vent fan cover. That's factory standard over the bathroom vent. Just on this side of the air conditioner, you might notice that is our 190-watt factory roof solar panel. That is cool. But then you see another Max Air vent cover up front over the bedroom. That is an option. That is there whenever you add like extra vent fans to these, which you can do straight from the factory level. Those don't have to be necessarily just an aftermarket thing. Rockwood and Flagstaff, basically anywhere there's a roof vent, they let you upgrade that to one of those big vent fans, and anytime you get it, you get the roof cover to go with it. That is, to me, that is pretty cool.
Now down here under the belly, you can't see very much, but sometimes it's what you can't see that is really the most important.
And in this case, what you're not seeing are things like tank heaters and a radiant barrier. So first of all, All the way down the nose of this thing, there's a radiant barrier like curtain, like a foil layering to help, you know, when the sun's baking off the front of this thing to help keep it from baking out the bedroom. Now, you've obviously got that windshield in the front. Windshields do not insulate the way a wall would. You're definitely going to want to keep that shade drawn. If it's really screaming hot, little pro tip for you from your Uncle Josh, stuff a pillow or two or something up in that and then draw the shades down. Just make sure you're not putting too much pressure on the shades getting bulged out like, you know, Steve Buscemi's eyeballs or something like that. Bet you didn't expect to get a Steve Buscemi reference today. But that radiant barrier also, back to the topic at hand, layers under the underbelly, well, in the underbelly, not under the underbelly, because that wouldn't do anybody any good, now would it? It's in the underbelly. Also, this RV is standard factory equipped with 12-volt thermostatic tank heaters. So one of the nice things about it being 12-volt is if you're moving and you go through a cold area, they can still operate in transit, whereas 110 tank heaters, they are a little bit more powerful, but they're only really useful when you're stuck in one spot. So as always, let me know what you think of this thing over here. The good, the bad, the ugly, with everything between. I want to hear it from you, just like you've heard it from me. I like hearing it both ways. Believe it or not, I don't enjoy hearing myself talk the most. Actually, I think I learn more from you folks than you probably ever learned from me. There's just, you know, a wealth of camping knowledge out there in this channel, and the people, in the form of the people who comment and camp all the time. I camp, not as much as I'd like to. So your experience, it absolutely is just worth its weight in gold to me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to catch us on the next one. And as always, get some best wishes from Bishes. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.